What's going on, everybody? Welcome to NFL Week 6, 2017. We're about to run through all these games that went down, and I'm telling you right now, if you're like me, you lost a lot of cash last night, bro. Yes, Vegas did ream me, but let's jump into the game right now with the Bears and the Ravens. The Ravens came out, laid an egg like they usually do, and the Bears came through with a very, very clutch victory. The rookie running back threw a touchdown in this game. A lot of stuff happened. Mitch Trubisky, he steps out, gets his win. It's looking good for the Bears because I think right now, the only problem that the Bears have is John Fox. Do you guys agree with me? Like, it's something about his face, and it's similar to, like, who's the other guy? Jim Caldwell, but Jim Caldwell's actually winning with the Lions now. You got Todd Bowles. Like, they got weird faces, and I just don't think that it actually corresponds with the team. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me, because I can always guess, like, who's not going to be clutch as a coach. And even though in this game the Ravens lost, and I would, you probably wouldn't think that they would have lost if you're a betting person. You probably wouldn't think that this would have happened. But sometimes, it happens in the NFL, bro, where you bet money on a certain thing and you just lose ridiculously. So, going forward, though, I don't know what the Ravens are going to do. I don't know what their identity is. I don't know what Joe Flacco's doing. I do know that Terrell Suggs is about that life. I do know that because that dude is out there blasting dudes. I don't know what is up with that guy, man, but he reminds me of, I don't know, man. It's like James Harrison with the Steelers. Like, these guys are ageless wonders. The Ravens they're probably not going to be making any noise in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say. I know it's early in the season, but they've been so inconsistent. You got to have some kind of consistency, bro. The only thing they're consistently doing is getting whipped. So, I don't know. We'll come back to that at another time. The Browns and the Texans. Deshaun Watson, man. The guy is special. I don't know what that Hogan guy is doing. I know they benched Kaiser for Hogan, but Hogan is terrible, bro. But you know what the real issue is? Hugh Jackson. He took the wrong job. If he would have took the job with the Giants when it was offered, this whole scenario would have been different, but he chose to do it to himself. And he's going to get fired in a very, very bad way, probably during the season, because the Browns are very, very bad. McCourtney got that pick six at the end, but it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? None of that really matters, simply because the game was over. The game was over before it started. So it doesn't really matter that he does a pick six, unless maybe on defense you needed something to come through for your fantasy team. I don't know. But the Texans completely railroaded it. I got really nervous for the Texans fans, though, when Jadeveon Clowney had the collision with his own teammate. But the Texans look really, really good offensively. Defensively, they keep losing more and more. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be, you see, Bill O'Brien, he's an idiot for not starting Deshaun Watson, week one. And I don't think he's a good coach, in my opinion. So I don't know how far the Texans are going to go. And you might say, Gmia, why do you think he's not a good coach? Because a good coach makes the best decision at the right time. And just because he pulled Savage in that game, which I was tweeting about like a maniac on, week one, that doesn't mean that he's a good coach because he made the decision. Deshaun Watson should have started from it was obvious that he was the better quarterback. So that kind of took them back a little bit. Obviously, J.J. Watt being out, a lot of injuries going on. But the Texans can make some noise. I like what I'm seeing from them. And remember, they almost beat the Patriots as well. Well, what am I saying? Everybody almost beats the Patriots. Wait till we get to the Jets part. But it is what it is. The Browns are the Browns, and they got what the Browns get. Packers and the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers is out for the season, man. Fractured collarbone. This is really disgusting. Because you know what's crazy about this? Now, I'm not trying to put this on Hundley or whatever, the backup quarterback for the Packers, but it's like, look, you got a lot of quarterbacks in this league right now that really suck. They're really, really bad, and they're getting paid a lot of money to be second-string quarterbacks. And, you know that when your main guy goes down, you're going to lose games. And the only team that I could probably say that wouldn't happen with is the Patriots, with Jimmy G as a backup. I don't understand why teams would do that. It makes it more competitive. Look at what's going on. Well, I don't want to use Kansas City right now because of what happened, but we'll get to that in a second. But when you have a backup that's formidable, it makes your starter play better. It makes them want to do better. You bring more out of the starter. I don't know why these teams don't understand that that's something that they should make sure, because we know that the Packers are not winning anything else. They may try to pull out something out of their defense maybe, but their season is pretty much over. Aaron Rodgers is that team. So it's going to be a very, very tough remainder of the year for the Packers. More than likely, he's not coming back. People are saying probably the end of the season, but I highly doubt it. It's his throwing arm. It's probably not going to happen. The Vikings, McKinnon, that run, I know they lost Cook, right? But that McKinnon he's special, man. And the Vikings are also playing with backup quarterbacks, but they've been doing that for a while, and it just works out for them in certain ways. So I'm not really going to go into it in depth because their quarterbacks, you can't compare any one of the quarterbacks on their team to losing Aaron Rodgers. But they're figuring out ways to win, and defensively they stepped up and made plays, but it wasn't hard to do against a second-string quarterback. So it is what it is. The Lions and the Saints were beating the blood out of these guys for almost the entire game. Towards the end, they came back. It was like two pick sixes, and another interception, and like 2 fumbles from Matthew Stafford. He just didn't have it, bro. And like I said, I'm not going to say, oh, bro, he's garbage. Look, it happens. It happens to the best of the quarterbacks, believe it or not. You come out, you have bad games. It's a long season. It's the NFL. Things like this are going to go on. You got to give credit to the Saints, though. Look, I made a podcast on this channel on YouTube where I told you guys, you see, with Adrian Peterson being part of this team, I think it mentally, after he did the death stare from week 1, I think that mentally kind of incapacitated the team to see him get away with it until he was released. I think after Adrian Peterson, they knew like he was in the doghouse. Once he was off the team, I fully expected that the Saints would play much better because he was like that guy, that elephant in the room that's a bum, but he's really not a bum though, but he just doesn't fit their scheme. You know, he didn't fit what the Saints were because the Saints obviously have other running backs, plus they have the new rookie. They got a lot of things that are going on, so it didn't work out. And I just think, you know, when you have a lot of different emotions going on within your locker room, it's not good for the overall team, in my opinion. So I think that's what happened. As far as the Lions, I just think they had a bad game. They came out, they were outmatched. The Saints were home. Saints are always a very, very tough team at home. Ever since Drew Brees has been in that building, it's very, very tough to win there. So, you know, this is going to happen sometimes. I wouldn't put too much into it. If you're a Lions fan, it just happens sometimes. The Dolphins and the Falcons suck. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you why they suck. Early in the season, remember when they played the Bears game 1 and they got really, really lucky and everybody was dropping passes and stuff like that? I knew that it was going to be a hangover from the Super Bowl because it's just what history shows us. But it's the way that they lost in the Super Bowl that I knew that mentally it was going to come back to haunt them somehow, some way. And they were winning this game 17-0, just to give you an idea. And then you lose to Jay Cutler. Like, you really lost to Jay Cutler. Matt Ryan down the stretch was terrible. The defense for the Dolphins really stepped up huge. This is a big win for them. I'm pretty sure a lot of people lost money if you bet this game individually. It was probably like a no-brainer. It was too many points, though, so I wouldn't have taken that many points as far as the spread goes, but you weren't expecting the Falcons to lose this game. I have no faith at all in the Falcons of doing anything. I don't think they're going to be the team, if there was a team to break history after having a Super Bowl loss. They will continue to fluster themselves and not play well, in my opinion. Patriots and the Jets. I was shocked at the start of this game, the way this game was going. I'm going to tell you this right now. The Patriots didn't cover the spread, but they did what they were supposed to do and came back and beat a team that they better had beaten. I'm going to tell you this right now, man. The Jets are a lot better than I thought they would be this season. And I've been saying this since like last week. I'm like, yo, they're beating good teams. I don't understand what's going on. But they could have possibly beaten the Patriots if they didn't have McCown at quarterback. Like, listen, he played well, but he's just not the guy. But it's not even about that. It's just the fact that they were able to hang in there like that. Like, how do you hang in there like that? The Patriots' defense is horrific. If they would have lost this game, it would have been so bad for Bill Belichick. Let me just say, because there is simply no reason for them to even have the Jets compete. Like, realistically, just looking at the Jets roster, it doesn't make any sense that they were competing with the Patriots. If you're thinking about it like, Tom Brady, McCown, like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So when something doesn't make sense to me, it really bothers me overall. And this didn't make sense to me. And I actually bet the Patriots with the spread and lost, and I was raging. But overall, the Jets are a much better team than people give them credit for. And I'll be the first to tell you, bro, I did not see this coming. I thought they wouldn't be getting blown out every game. I did not see this coming. 49ers and the Redskins. Listen, First Cousins, Kirk Cousins, he gonna get paid. That man, bro, he gonna get paid so much money that people, like, listen, man, the bank not gonna be able to handle the amount that he coming in there with. So more than likely he won't be with the Redskins next year. He probably will end up with the 49ers because of familiar territory with that. But the 49ers are good for fighting, but still taking the loss. Obviously, we know they're 0-6, but they don't just give up. They don't just lay down. They're another team where you thought, like, yo, what are they doing? Like, what's their whole plan for this year? And then you look at this and you're like, they compete, but the Redskins are still injured on defensively and stuff like that. Kirk Cousins is dealing, man. That dude is dealing like he's a poker person, bro. Like he's the guy, bro. He's the dealer at the poker place at the casino. He's really dealing them things. He did have an intro that was really, really bad though. But other than that, he's Kirk Cousins. He's playing pretty well. he's going to break the bank this season. I'm going to tell you that right now. Buccaneers and the Cardinals. This right here was a hilarious game for me, right? Because the Cardinals was beating the hell out of the Buccaneers. We know Jameis Winston was hurt, and then they brought in Patrick. Patrick is a bum. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Let me just explain to you what happened in this game, right? AP, kudos, bro. Listen, the way you looked when you were with the Saints, I thought you were a bum. You came out, bruh, you just came out and showed us right away. Oh, look, I'm still AP. You're still Adrian Peterson. You still do whatever. Okay, bruh, you're 32 years old. You got your chance. You made everything from it. They cut Chris Johnson. They put you in there. That was the best move Bruce Arians could have made. Good job. Then you have the older Fitzgerald at 34 doing whatever he wants to do. But Carson Palmer, bro, he tried to give this. See, I'm looking at the intricacies of the game. Carson Palmer still tried to give this game away. Stay woke. The dude was trying to throw picks. He only threw one, but he threw picks right to defenders. I don't know if you guys caught that. Every time I watch Carson Palmer play, I know he wants to give the ball away. That rhymed. I'm going to have to go ahead and make a rhyme and go on SoundCloud. But I'm going to tell you this again. Carson Palmer is a certified bum. I don't care. And the Buccaneers, Fitzpatrick threw that wild pass to Mike Evans at the end of the game on the right side, and he caught it. I don't know how he did that, but it is what it is. But let me explain something to you. As long as Carson Palmer is the quarterback of the Cardinals, they will not win a Super Bowl. They probably won't even make the playoffs, to be honest. And Adrian Peterson had a great showing, stuff like that. That's all fine. The Cardinals have to do a lot of different things. Unfortunately for, Larry Fitzgerald, he won't be a part of them when they go back to their real Super Bowl contender stages because they have to get rid of Carson Palmer. And I don't know how many years Larry Fitzgerald's got, but he's 34. I don't see him playing very much longer, and I don't see them being a contender in the NFL during the time that Carson Palmer is actively the quarterback, in my opinion. The Rams and the Jaguars. A lot of people were really sold on the Jaguars, and I keep trying to explain to people in the barbershop, like, the Jaguars really suck. Now, it's kind of funny the way I explain it because they laugh like, bro, why are you saying they suck? They're beating all these good teams. I'm saying they suck because their quarterback. I know what Blake Bortles is. Blake Bortles knows what he is. He wakes up and looks in the mirror every morning. He knows what he is. The dude's a bum. Like, I'm not running around, just because they're winning. No. He's still Blake Bortles. Hey, you can miss me with the BS. I'm not going to tell you that a quarterback is good just because their team is winning. I'm not going with the trend. I know that Blake Bortles is a horrible quarterback. I know that. So I'm going to always bet against the Jags. And I've been betting against them all the time. And yeah, they got me 3 times, but I'm going to still bet against them. Defensively, stout. Leonard Fournette, listen, the guy is a dog. Like they say in the South, he a dog. Blake Bortles is a quarterback. Rams look good. They tried to run the clock out towards the end of the game, and Gurley got that loss of yards, whatever like that. But throughout the game, they look good. Goff is still doing what he has to do. Still, putting up them points and doing the necessary things that have to be done in order for them to be successful. They have a chance to surprise a lot of teams, man. I'm being honest with you. Jeff Fisher should have been fired a long time before, though. And this would have been happening a lot earlier. Steelers and the Chiefs. Chiefs had a lot of chances to win this game. But when you're down, Alex Smith showed you what we thought of him prior to this year. The Steelers' defense was able to successfully contain Kareem Hunt, and that was the game. That's why I tell people, it's not about... Listen, Alex Smith is Alex Smith. And we want to root for him. We want to say he's not checked down, Alex Smith. We want to do those things. He's not an Aaron Rodgers. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not a Drew Brees. He's not doing it without a running game. He's just not. Kareem Hunt was the difference between the Chiefs being this good and before being that bad. And for the most part, the Steelers did what they had to do, and they contained and locked up. And they've always been that kryptonite for the Chiefs. So if you did bet the Chiefs, you probably don't know the history of football with these two teams. And that's why I was trying to tell people, see, the Steelers are garbage when they play bum teams, but when they play good teams, for some reason they wake up and come out and play. They're very, very dangerous when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very, very careful looking at that. It's the first Chiefs loss. But again, they had several chances and they just couldn't make plays. The Steelers, James Harrison, them boys, they just ate all day. They ate all day, man. And that's pretty much what it is. James Harrison, we thought he was hurt, injured, all kind. He ain't hurt. That dude looked more than fine to me. He was running right through the tackle and just doing whatever he wanted. Chiefs just didn't come to play. And it's as simple as that. Chargers and the Raiders. This was a hard one, man, because Derek Carr is playing with freaking all kinds of stuff. Bro, the dude played without his back. He left his back in the locker room and came out to try to win the game, and his team still let him down, bro. Like, sometimes, these guys really, really suck, dog. When you really think about it, I'm not talking about the Raiders overall. I'm talking about, like, your teammates. When you sacrifice everything, like, I don't even care. I'm coming out. I don't got no back. I'm putting my back on the shelf. I'm going to come out here and just do what's right. Still get the L. And it's so funny that the Chargers were able to make a field goal. I don't know what's going on, man. But that's why I can't really play around with the AFC West, because it's so crazy, and I just don't know where I'm going with it. It's just wild, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this division alone, because you just never know what's gonna happen. And you would think that the Raiders would be able to pull this one out at home, and they just didn't. It's nothing you can really say about it, man. They just didn't. They didn't play. They weren't up to par with everything that they were needed to do to bring to the table. And it's even a harder loss when you sacrifice to come out to play, and this happens. Now the finale with the Giants and the Broncos. OMG. I don't know why I just said that. Why didn't I just say, oh my God? Why would I use the acronym? Whatever. The Giants came out and made Trevor Siemian look like Blake Bortles and like Jay Cutler when he's really, really bad. Not like how he was this past Sunday, because he actually played well. But they showed that the Broncos are a normal team. This was sad. This was really, really sad for the Broncos to lose at home like this. It's a lot of implications, because I was even saying, like, bro, we're going to have to do something with Eli Manning. We don't really need him. The guy sucks. And a lot of things are going on. But the Giants' defense, that's what this story's about. Where has this defense been? And now if you're a Giant fan, you're probably like, yo, we 1-5. We got a chance. No OBJ, no Brandon Marshall, none of this stuff, bro. And you go out there and win? This really hurts OBJ's chances of being the number one paid player in the NFL. Because they were able to successfully do a lot of things that they just weren't able to do while he was on the field. But the Broncos have to feel bad, bro. And I don't feel bad for them, because, like, why? Why would you feel bad for them? Like, they're all rich, running around, playing football. But to lose to the Giants at home is a very, very bad thing. And you see how funny the NFL is? The Broncos just completely destroyed the Dallas Cowboys. And you saw what the Dallas Cowboys did to the Giants. And now the Giants goes and does it to the Broncos. But then the Giants don't have a good O-line. But then you're playing against a team with all these guys, all this secondary, all this, Von Miller stuff. And you can't beat the Giants? The Broncos are not for real, bro. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't care. I know I say it's one game, but this is more than one game, bro. You can't lose to the Giants the way that they did. They got locked up, bro, like they were Akon. This right here is unacceptable. It's unacceptable in every aspect of the National Football League. I'm disgusted, and I don't care. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. This is just unacceptable completely. And I'm happy for the Giants fans, but at the same time, the Broncos, I thought you guys were something that you weren't. And I learned a lot about a lot of these teams, and a lot about my cash in my pocket, because I lost a lot of cash gambling in Vegas. Please stay away from it. It's not fun when you lose a lot of cash. This has been the rundown for NFL Week 6, 2017. Hopefully you enjoy. Hopefully you subscribe. You share. We're on iTunes, Android, iHeartRadio, GmiasWorld. We're signing out. One love.